I want to let you know of a few of the people that I met at the Level Up retreat. This was hands down the best and most fun convention that I've ever been to, and although I did get a little bit of special treatment, I'd still be saying the exact same thing if that wasn't the case, because all the people there just made this so much fun, and everyone was super kind and welcoming. Got to play a ton of games, many games that I really wanted to try out, and many games that I now want to buy. And if I were to just quickly describe the experience that this convention was for me, I would describe it as eye-opening, because this was unlike any other convention that I've been to. There wasn't any booths there set up just to sell you things. There wasn't anything unrelated to board games at this convention. Everything was focused on the board games, and everything was focused on the people in the community and just being yourself and having a ton of fun together. When the average person hears the term board game convention, they typically think 40 to 50-year-old introverts, predominantly male. And for a time that may have been the case, but that is nothing like what the experience was at the Level Up retreat. There was quite a diverse crowd, and everyone was super talkative, super funny, and it seemed like everyone was a comedian. Many of them actually were. But everyone there was really, really cool, and I couldn't have had a better time. And they did take feedback from all the people that went as well, and they're going to be making even more improvements for the convention in the future. So I do highly recommend trying to make it out to this one if you ever get the opportunity. Every single person I got to hang out with just made my stay there that much better, and I do want to mention a few of them just as a quick thank you. A lot of the people I met are not involved in the board game industry in any way. They're just there to have fun and play some games, and thank you for everyone that falls into that category. I'm not going to be mentioning everyone here. I'm actually only going to be mentioning the content creators because I know they're already comfortable with their name being mentioned online. And they do also come with the added bonus that a lot of these creators you might already be familiar with, and it's just fun to hear their names show up on other channels. And my first mention here has to be Jenna from the Board Game Garden. A little bit of background here, Jenna and I actually live fairly close together, so we ended up traveling to the convention together, and traveling with Jenna just made that whole experience way more fun. She's super kind, super funny, and puts out some great content. She even put out a vlog wrapping up most of the retreat if you want to check it out. And if you're interested to know what I'm like out in the wild, I do make a few appearances. And as I was at the convention just trying to hang out with as many people as I possibly could, I did start to notice a little bit of a trend of people expressing their excitement at the opportunity to meet both Amy and Maggie at the convention, and it was totally well deserved, and I couldn't have been happier to be one of the many that actually got to hang out with them and actually play a few games. The personality that they have on the channel is very true to how they are in person, along with all that witty banter, and I just want to thank them for putting up with me as long as they had to and answering every single one of my endless barrage of questions about Australia and what it's like to live there. They left a really positive impression on me, and I'm sure I left at least a 60% positive impression on them. And despite being a content creator, I am absolutely terrible when it comes to social media. I will play a ton of games and never take a single picture, and sometimes I do take pictures and still forget to share them on Instagram. But someone who is really good at this stuff is Carly from Board Game Vibes, where she posts all sorts of board game content on her Instagram, and she actually just started a YouTube channel as well. I'll be linking to all these content creators in the description below. But if you want to see some awesome content while also helping them out, I highly recommend that you check out their videos and subscribe if you like their content. And probably because of my lack of presence on Instagram, Carly was a new content creator to me, so I just met her at the convention. But every time I ran into her, she always had a smile, and there was always laughs wherever she was going. She was an absolute pleasure to chat with, and she did also post up her own vlog going over the Level Up retreat as well, so if you do want to see it from a different perspective, you can check out her content, which I'll have linked in the description below. And yes, I did get to play a few head-to-head games during the retreat, and for whatever reason, every time I found myself playing one of these games, I was always going up against Brian Greer. Maybe it's because he was just so good at roasting me every time I was losing, so I just had to redeem myself, but had the pleasure of playing quite a few games with Brian. He pretty much destroyed me in every single game, but I did get to sneak in a win on our final game and get the last laugh. Really enjoyed my games with Brian, and despite all the roasting going on, he's actually a pretty chill guy. Really hope to see him again, and you should definitely check him out. Game Brigade, and I'll link him down below. And like I said, it was quite a diverse crowd at the Level Up retreat, and somehow I found myself at a table playing games with the three comedians that happened to be there, which were Tim Riel, Grant Lyon, and Jeff Kornberg from the Dragon's Tome. And I'm just gonna wrap all three of these together because all three of these guys are hilarious. And I was doing my best to keep up with them as they were just cracking jokes left, right, and center. But these three guys also have their own content that you definitely want to be checking out. Tim Rial has Codenames Live, where he has all sorts of different guests, a lot of them from the board game community, and he posts live streams on Twitch where they all play Codenames, carry on, and get messy, and I might be making a guest appearance in the future. And if you don't know of Grant Lyon, I have mentioned him on the channel before. Both him and Tim are actually legit stand-up comedians, but Grant Lyon also posts up a video every month going over upcoming retail games. So if you like these types of videos that I'm making here today, his videos actually pair quite well with mine because I give you all the upcoming campaigns on Kickstarter, but he'll let you know of all the upcoming games going to retail. But if you're the type with a very special sense of humor, I definitely recommend checking out the Dragon's Tome because Jeff puts up a ton of hilarious content. My favorite one is the Jaws of the Lion video, where he does a game unboxing of Jaws of the Lion, and it's 100% accurate and 100% chance to make you laugh. So I do recommend checking that out. If you like the video, definitely subscribe to him. And I really do appreciate each of you allowing me to have a seat at your table and giving me that chance to at least pretend like I'm a comedian. And then there was Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo. Yes, he was there and I did finally get to meet him. I did actually meet him briefly once at Origins convention, but as I was coming in, he was actually leaving, so it was very brief and I didn't get to catch up with him after that until now. And this guy is exactly like he is in his videos, and I think I finally kind of figured him out. If I were to take a guess at what exactly is going on inside Alex's head, I would say that he is the type of person that makes his decisions based on whatever is the most fun. I really need to play one of those giant campaign games with Alex where there's branching storylines that change depending on the decisions that you make, because I just want to see him in each of those different situations where he has to make a decision, because I think rather than maximizing his chances of winning, he's going to be maximizing his chances of having fun. And I am 100% okay with that, because even if we lose, we're going out in a blaze of glory. But all jokes aside, Alex was a fantastic host to the event, and he was just working his butt off, making sure that everything went off without a hitch. And he must have done a great job seeing how it all turned out, and he still made time to just play games with anyone that wanted to play games with him. I'm super impressed, and I can't wait until the next one. And along with Alex, I also got to meet Meg, who makes many appearances across his channel, and she also has her own Instagram as well, and she is a total geek and wears it proudly. She was super kind, super spontaneous, and had a sense of humor that rivaled my own. Can't wait to meet you again, Meg. It was a ton of fun. But I did save the best for last, and yes, I am picking favorites here, and everyone else would totally understand, because the last person I want to mention is Devin from Devin Talks Tabletop. I actually did meet Devin before when I went to the Origins convention, and I went to that convention with absolutely no plan or coordination whatsoever, but Devin welcomed me with open arms and we ended up hanging out quite a bit. Super funny guy, way funnier than me, almost as charming, but he's just the type of person that has your back no matter what. When I was hanging out with Devin at the Origins convention, which was also a fun convention, but the LevelUp retreat was way better, hanging out with Devin turned that convention from like a 3 or 4 to me to like an 11. That's the convention where I realized that going to these board game conventions isn't only about staying at the convention, but just hanging out with the people that you meet there, getting food and carrying on, and just having a ton of laughs and fun. And I really do think that that's the thing that made the LevelUp retreat so much more fun for me, is that you had the experience of hanging out with your friends while you're at the convention. So it really blended everything together really well. Whereas at other conventions, you'd be surprised how much time you spend just walking around and exploring, or having different booths trying to sell you something. Whereas this LevelUp retreat was very, very focused on just playing games and having fun and meeting people. And even though I only got to hang out with Devin once before, and it was over a year ago, of course I told him all about my new house purchase and that I just moved to Tavistock, Ontario, where I didn't realize this, but is where crokinole was actually invented. And apparently every year here in Tavistock there is the annual Crokinole World Tournament. And while I was there, Devin actually introduced me to the person who creates the official boards for that tournament, because he happened to be at the event as well, and he had a whole bunch of Crokinole boards out for everyone to play. And I gotta say, these are by far the best Crokinole boards that I've ever seen. And I am Canadian, so I've seen quite a few Crokinole boards in my days, and I gotta say that these ones are on a whole different level. Not only do these boards look amazing, but the discs slide like they're on a air hockey table. It's insane. I'm not the type of guy who says something that I don't mean, and after playing these boards for myself, I'm really confident that these are probably the best Crokinole boards that you can find on the market ever. And I may have expressed this subtly while playing Crokinole at the LevelUp retreat, but Devin noticed and he decided to gift me one as a housewarming gift, so I'm super excited to have something as a constant reminder of Devin. Now I'm having second thoughts. So I hope all of that gives some justification to me picking favorites here, and if it sounds like buying me gifts is the way to my heart, well, it doesn't hurt. And I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jeremy Tracy himself, who is the one that manufactures these boards. Awesome guy, and he makes all of these boards by hand with his sons in their own shop. And if you are interested in getting a Crokinole board for yourself, I highly recommend that you check them out. If you're in the market for a Crokinole board and you want the best experience possible, this is the one that you want to check out, and this is a purchase that you will not regret. There's also a bunch of different styles. They all look fantastic, but the one that caught my eye was the gray rock. So if you share the same taste as me, I definitely recommend that you take a look at that one. And you can find all this info at tracyboards.com, but I'll leave a link to this website as well as all the content creators that I just mentioned in the description below. And if you check out just one of these content creators, I would love it if you gave some of Devin's videos some views, show him some support as a thank you from me, and subscribe to his content if you like what he has to offer.